Hey, so gonna do some more live coding stuff. I've been playing around with some stuff. I think I'm gonna share my whole desktop. I think that makes the most sense. Um, Instead of like switching around for all the stuff here. So um, let me see here. I have been playing with some of the resolution. So I use a widescreen and for my primary monitor, and I've been scaling down and like keeping windows the same, but I like want the real estate. But it's rough. So I'm gonna try and see what I can do here to get this thing kind of um, looking somewhat all right. Like the aspect ratio is all messed up in some of this here. So if I, and that's kind of what I'm playing with here with scale filtering and stuff like that. So I'm going from two different aspect ratios, so it kind of like sucks. Um, so I think what I have to do is kind of just not do it. I think I'm just gonna change my resolution, which kind of sucks, but you know, base canvas 19 there, and I wonder if I change my resolution while I'm streaming, will it hate me? Um, I don't know. Let's try. Do, do, do. No. All right, so that hotkey didn't work. Let me just manually change it. Display settings and 920, 1080. Oh, that's so small. Makes me sad. Let's see, how does that like, look? Uh, Open properties. I have to restart the source. No, I think that's actually working great. I think we're looking okay here now. So I'm just gonna resize this guy here. Um, this chat box is a little large. And so I think that's good. All right. And I think the last thing I want to do is probably zoom out of my camera. So on my Stream Deck, let's add a dial thing for camera control. You know what? I'll show this. Yeah. So camera hub and adjust camera and oh, I felt like run camera hub. I thought it was running. Isn't that like, oh, it's Elgato Control Center. Weird. I guess it updated and didn't restart. I think it's starting. Hmm. Does it take a second? Which one? I feel like one of these is it, but no. Weird. Uh, no, wait. Where is it? No way. Auto camera. Oh, maybe like I have to install it. I don't know. Let's see. Anyway, we'll get started in a second here. I just need to zoom out. It's driving me nuts. I think that the resolution looks okay. I think everything looks okay. Um, Let me know if that music is too loud. Wow, I can't believe I used to use this 120 or 1080p versus 4K. It's like such a difference. All right, so to recap the last episode from last night. Oh, almost forgot the light. To recap from last night, let's change the temperature a little bit. All right, good. So it finally ran. Initializing video engine. Ooh wee. All right, so please update camera hub. Of course it says that. Of course. Let's see, how do I do this? Update camera hub. Settings. Check for updates. 1.8. Oh wow, that's a big. See, I want that prompter. Yeah, I want this. All right. So last night, uh, so we started using Roslyn to generate temporal workflows, and we started on the activity stuff, but we didn't really get anywhere with that because we're working on the workflow stuff now. We created a simple inject state, which is a way to provide static data into a workflow. um, and so we went from a serverless workflow JSON file to a C# compiled workflow that actually executed in Temporal and did exactly what we needed it to do. So like that's pretty awesome, I think. And yeah, I mean we did it, which is really cool. So anyway, you can check out this clip. I'll put it in the chat here. There's that clip, and there's that clip that show the moment. That's like the demo, basically. Oh, they added prompter, but I want a prompter. No, I need a new graphics card because I can't do any of these. Anyway, so that's there. Elgato Facecam. Let's see, zoom. Select property, zoom, and hey, yeah. All right, and I think that's good. Close the Steam Deck stuff, so that's great. Oh, yeah, I definitely have a cold here, folks. All right, yeah, so we got that, and so let's so I've switched also to VS Code, and you know it's easier here, and I think what I can actually also do is so I could actually split this somehow, split terminal, and can I split? Is that another split? What? All right, so can I label these? I don't know. Let's see. Rename. So the first one we had was generator, and the second one we had was worker, and then this one was oops, executor, executor. All right. So let's go ahead and so we got our stuff going on here. So we're gonna set this to our startup project. So I think I need to do a dude over here. So I don't have any of that set. So I'm gonna just hit F5. And yeah, So like .NET 5 Plus and .NET Core. So yeah, so let's do this one. And I think it's coming. I hope it's coming. Who knows what's coming? Do I have to like open the solution? Open solution. I mean, is this, I don't know. Okay, so I guess I open the solution, right? And let's rebuild. So we're gonna have to do this and do the restore, and then we'll get everything rolling in these yeah, I'm definitely come down with something. All right, so .NET restore. So then in here we're gonna so this is gonna be our generator. So copy path, and this is gonna be our workflows path. Oh wait, yeah. So it's actually CD, and then generator, and then CD. Not generator. We want to go to the serverless workflow. So this is the generated project. Excuse me. So, and then what we're also going to do is, so I already have Temporal running over here. So I already have it running. But what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to move it over to here. So I'm just going to create another. So this is, I think I already had set this up. Temporal. No, did I not? All right, I guess I'm going to do this here. Did I not set this up in here? I did not. So there happens to be a dev extension here. Dev contain, so it's containers.dev features. And we're going to look for temporal CLI, which is, I think, is this one. Let's check what the install script does. Definitely temporal CLI. Yeah, that's the right one. So we're going to add this dev container feature, and we'll have it here. And yeah, sure. So rebuild container. So hopefully it caches and not a lot of stuff has changed. I just like built this container like 10 minutes ago and it took forever. Excuse me. Let's see. So a lot of stuff going on here. Yeah, I love dev containers. They're the best. So let me move this. I was doing some video editing later or earlier. What else I got going on here that I don't want on here? And let's close all these. And we're good. All right. So while that's building, so next steps for today. You know what? Let's actually pull up some of this code here. So, GitHub.com, InfinityFlow app, and I think I have like a PR with some of this stuff on here. Yeah, this is like full here. Anyway, so we look at the Hello World SWS, right? So we look at this. This was our guy right here. This was the thing. Excuse me. This was our workflow, and the way the inject state works, recall that it's a way to get static data in to your workflow. Different than an input, but like you can use it for parameters, let's say. You can use it for all sorts of stuff. Sky's the limit there. But anyway, the way it works is if the output for the inject state is always the data. Now there's other like like that's the input is the data rather, but the output of a state is the output of this state rather is this data object here, right? This data about these values that are here. And we set n to true. Now n can have more complex stuff like where to go next and all sorts of stuff, compensation and events and blah blah blah. But what we wanted to do is just really get a really basic use case just to test the whole system and everything like that. So that's what we did, and yeah, that's been outputted. So we generated this. Now there was a weird thing, and I was thinking about it upon further reflection this morning. That is taking forever. Yeah, somebody updated an image and it wasn't cached. Oh, that's the export. All right, good. So I think it was because like because of the anonymous type, I had to do. So I have an editor config rule that says the async. If we're not async, then there's treat warnings as errors, kind of a deal. And what happens when we generate is it does not include this line here, and I don't necessarily want to include this line. Excuse me. And I guess I could disable the editor config rule, but I really don't want to. I want to find like the right way to do it. And but for now, I'm just putting this in here, and that solves my problem. So then, you know, this is just some boilerplate stuff and sample stuff. These are other tests, and that's really where we are. So, okay, so we're here now. Cool. Do I have to? Yeah, I'm gonna have to make those outputs again. Oh, those terminals, right? Did it save my terminal? That would actually be cool if it did. Nope. So we're gonna split, and this is gonna be we are generator, and then we're gonna go to the generated. All right, and now for this one, so we can just do like a .NET run, and it's going to actually just look for all of the files in here, and we'll see the change happen in this hello world workflow. So you'll see that there, and oh, what happened now? Oh, ha ha ha, yes. Linux, Windows, interop strikes again. So let's actually fix this. It's good we got that here. So what happens is in program CS, I did this instead of this. So it really, let's just make this easy. Path dot join. I wonder how this will work. I wonder if this works. Will that work? I mean, path.join I don't think does validation. I think it's strictly a string operation. Yeah, it did. Strictly a string operation. So here we go. So we generated code, and we'll go look at this guy right here. So you'll see that that await went away, and maybe this editor actually is cool like that, and we'll do it. So I think I actually have to, so let's rename these. Generator, worker, work, executor, yes. And then let's do another one for, oops, not split. I did the same thing last time. Temporal. So temporal, I didn't do bash completion. Server, and I think it's start dev. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm just gonna go like this. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the service endpoint. All right. So here's our our temporal, and there's nothing there because I didn't choose persistence here. But you know what? Maybe I should. I don't know. Doesn't really matter right now. So anyway, that's that. And let's go look at, so let's do another shell. Let's put this at the top. This will be like a working kind of shell kind of deal. .NET restore. And I think we have to do like a build or something. .NET build. Do I just like not have the extension? I don't need GitHub Actions, don't need code spaces, don't need, sure. No. Yeah, I don't need these, but where is my C# one? Do I have it? Yeah, C# dev kit. It's there. So what's going on here? Build failed method. Yeah, so here we go. So this was the thing there. So if I did just a, now I had the what was it? It was, let's look at what Git said it was. Workflow delay async. So this is like some sort of editor thing that's happening here, the language server maybe. So why is that? I mean, we've got it all. Is this not liking central package management? That doesn't seem to make sense because we like have all that stuff. So serverless workflow. This is workflow run attribute. Let's see. So let's see what's missing here. So our generator. So code analysis. Why is that there? But it compiles just fine. You know what? Reload window. Let's just try this. This music's super suspenseful. All right, so that worked. So unnecessary using directive. Let's fix them all. Solution. Fix them all. Will not show line completions. Yeah, that's true. All right, so let's do this. All right, so we've got this dude going on here, and so we put this here. Let's test our stuff again real quick. All right, so we'll go to our panels here. So we have our generation. So we did that. So .NET run. So I think that's how I do it. And then here I have to do bin debug serverless workflows.exe. All right, so that's run. And so that's workflow. Let's make sure all this plumbing works. Oh, is it like telling me because I'm not here? Yeah. Workflow. So this should actually trigger it, and here we go, right? So here is our workflow execution. Let's go look at Temporal. We'll hit refresh. Here's the workflow that just ran, the hello world workflow, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Um, All right, and here's our delay. So we ignore the timer. That's just a wonky hack right now we have. All right, so we got this, right? So this is working. This is exactly what we thought, and we have this basic like JSON object to .NET object that we're using to generate this. So all right, so let's look at our to-do list here. So our to-do list is markdown, open, preview to the side. Can I like group these together? I don't know. That would be a cool feature if you can like take two tabs and make them always like locked to each other. So we generate a workflow from the serverless workflow file. We generate activities from the SWF. We invoke activities within the SWF. So we've proven that we know how to do that. So let's. So I think one way to do, we can model the inject is by doing a local activity, which doesn't really have the same overhead as doesn't have the same overhead as the how do you call it, a remote activity like our standard activity. So, but there is overhead nonetheless, right? So I'm wondering if since we call this the inject state, since we call it an activity, and there's actually more stuff that has to be done, right? So let's continue looking at this inject state because there's going to be pieces here. No, let's leave that, right? Let's implement another one. Let's do another one here, and let's see. So there's actually an extension. I don't think I have it installed, but let's see. It's a serverless workflow. So it was this one. It's this one. Oh, I do have it. All right. So I have to name these files sw.json. And then it just like lights up. sw.json. So you'll see it actually it'll render this. So that's actually pretty cool, right? I think it's pretty cool, at least. But that's just me, right? So then we also have to change the generator here to find the right files. sw.json. Yeah, sw.json. So that's good. We got this dude here. So the other great thing that this thing has is it has a add state. So we could do an operation state or switch state. What do we want to do? Let's do a switch state. That seems like it'd be kind of cool. So it just added this like switch state here. And let's put it over here. All right, so, this is gonna require evaluations of expressions. Oh, that kind of, so I think there was like an editor here for this thing. I don't remember. So state serverless service registries, SVG, log into service registries, open as diagram, refresh service registry. Yeah, nope, that's not what we wanted here. Could have sworn there was some sort of an editor here. Oh, it even gives us errors. Oh yeah. So end So it supports if it's like an object, right? So terminate true. Oh, good. Compensate continue as produce event. So we're just gonna change this to here, and what we're gonna do is, so this is going to be so let's see, cool kids only. So it's a switch type, and we're actually gonna do a transition here. So I think we have to do transition cool kids only, maybe. What else can we do here? Compensate next state. Oh, so we can like do something really complex. All right, so let's try that. So we're gonna transition to this. See how our diagram kind of went like this? Data conditions. So what is this just like a label? I don't know. Um, don't know. Oh, what's in this chat here? Did we get spammed? Oh, no, that was me. All right, so data conditions. Conditions, false switch, workflow, condition transition. All right, so let's just say, you know what? I think we could just put C# in here. Huh. I think that's awesome. We could just put C# in here and skip this whole thing, because then we could just take this string literal and put it as like a, I guess like a token literal in the Roslyn analyzer. So, and we could just use like interpolation, right? And then you can get ternary operators and stuff like that. All right, so condition. Let's say let's like adapt this. So this will be whatever the input is, right? Data.cool. So I think it's just gonna be equals true. So if cool equals true, let's do another inject state here. Add state, new inject state, and I like to kind of put these at the bottom, but you know, that's just me maybe. So then this guy is gonna be, oh, let's name him. Kid is cool. So then kid is cool. Oh, that is so awesome. So awesome. And so cool equals true. You know what? I guess we could just do, let's name it input, because we're gonna have a variable called input, right? So input, I guess you can just do that, right? Yeah, okay. So inject data, and then let's just do result kid is cool. So we'll have that, and then no transition, and we'll say this is the end. So this is the end, kid is cool, and then default condition. Let's do this again. Kid is not cool. Now let's just do, so this is actually going to be kid is not cool. So any other thing is just going to be not cool. Kid is cool. So how does it get here? Kid is cool. Oh, kid is not cool. Oh, that's actually cool. Whoa, that's actually really cool. This is like a great editor experience. Like, I'm impressed here. So I guess, can I just do, oh, that'd be cool if you can label this. Yeah, it doesn't let you label. I guess the color is the label. All right, is not cool. And you know, I think we need some emoji up in here. Oh yeah. And let's just do a sad eyes kind of a deal. All right. So what should happen here? What should happen? So we start with this hello state. We're injecting this value in here. Then we're gonna say we're gonna transition to this cool kids only. Oh, let's just call this check if cool. Check if cool. So we're gonna check if cool, and if cool equals true, then the kid is cool, and we will output this inject state that says the kid is not cool. I had that backwards, right? So default kid is not cool, and if it's true, then kid is cool. So let's implement this, and that should be our output. We should have kid is cool and kid is not cool be our output here. All right, so we need to implement this switch state. Okie dokie. So let's do this. So we're gonna go to our code, our generator code. Let's go to our generator and let's go to where we are here. So let's do our switch statement, right? All right, so this is going to be switch state, and this is going to be build switch state and workflow definition for context and switch state. And let's make this generate method. And so let's see what we got here. All right, so this inject state. So we have a couple of problems we need to tackle here. So first, we have to handle state transitions other than end. We have to, oh my gosh. So we have to manage transitions. We have to take the output from the prior state into and insert it as input into the current state that's being processed. Excuse me. And then we have to determine which state we transition to next and then keep walking, right? So let's do this. So switch state, data input. Oh, there's a schema. So this supports schemas. Oh, all right. So data conditions dot. Let's see. You know what? Let's comment this out here. So this is basically the same that we got going on here. So we're just gonna have this same deal happen here, and return statement, identifier name data, switch state, true is terminal. Yeah, so this is like all the same. So this is the same. So switch state end. We're not actually doing anything here. So then we've got, let's do the transition. So let's just comment this out. Leave that there for right now. All right, let's go to where we process state, build workflow body. All right, so try and get start state. We have process state. So it's actually going to say here. So let's set a breakpoint here. So it's going to say it's not terminal. So if it's not terminal, we're going to yield break, which is going to break us out of this, and we're not going to do anything. So we've said that if a, let's write this down. If a state is terminal, if a state decides it is a end state, then it is responsible for returning from the workflow. And that's what's happening here in the statements that are coming here. So we're gonna put that there, and We've already returned our return statement above. All right, so we've got that. So we're gonna fall through here. And so now this is our start state stuff. And then our next one is we have so this is our result of our process state. So then we've got let's do a current state. So var current state. So it's state definition. State definition, current state. And we're gonna set him equal to here, start state, and so that's our initial thing. So that's our current state. And then our current state is here. So then, is there a next state? Oh, that would be so awesome if there was. All right. So let's add an extension method here. So serverless work. What is this guy? State definition extensions. So public static state extensions, and we're gonna do public static state definition quick fix, and then we're gonna say not with action. This is gonna be get next. All right, next state. And this is going to take a workflow definition. Workflow definition. And yeah, let's compare this with the Go code. I wonder what time I have to pick up my son to check. All right. So I have a get next transition somewhere in here. It's in the processor, and I have it in workflow, I think. Find state, get next state. So it's different, awesome. But it was like centralized logic. So, I mean, that's interesting, right? If state.transition is not null and next state is that, I mean, that's like close, right? Let's see what this other one. So this is for the start. So this is how it determines what to do next. So that one's a unique case. So let's look at this. So that's just a call. Yeah, so there's only this one, right? Search for the symbol. So in start, we have this one. In state processor, we have this one. So we have a transition processor, which is this guy right here. So this is common to all of them. All right. So we're saying here, if the transition is not nil, so if we have a transition object and the next state is not there, then that's our next state. So we could just use null coalesce because we're better than Go here, folks. State dot what is transition to state name? What is the difference here? I mean, this looks real familiar. Transition definition, next state. Yeah, because this uses like that maybe stuff. Thank you, JavaScript. One of, so I guess like discriminating unions, change definition, so transition value. So how does that work? How does that like work for me? So if state.transition value, what? No, really. Abstract class. All right. Try and get state. So what does this return? State definition. State definition. So state definition. Why is that not public abstract? All right. Why is this not valid? Public. Oh, yeah. So okay. So we got that dude. So there's no transitions here. So let's see what we get. State.transition to state name. So is this just like property here? Let's look. I wonder how I do the source stuff in here. Transition to state name. So if we have this, it's going to return null. Transition value. Oh, okay. So if it's not null, then it's going to be this dude here. Yeah, let's see how this goes. So if that could be null, then what's supposed to happen if it's null? Are we an exception? Because we have nowhere to transition to, right? Yeah, that's what we are. So return, I wonder if this stuff is like validated. Let's see. State dot transition dot compensate. So this is the information for how we're supposed to do this. You know, I wonder if there's, let's see what's going on. Let's look at the serverless specification. Let's look at these client libraries. So the .NET SDK. And let's see, contributors. Doesn't, so they're not actually publishing nuggets? What? Are they doing this manually? All right, well, let's see how they say to do this. So they have this fluid builder, reading workflows, writing workflows. So what was this one? Build workflows programmatically, write workflows, validate workflows, extend workflows, components that support metadata, definitions data, expose a metadata property. So this will be good for our code gen stuff, like when we're in the editor. So that's that, an extension. Cool. Extending a workflow. So that's extensions. Let's see what they got here. Let's look at their tests. I find that tests are always revealing. So cases, services, workflow definition, factory, resources, workflows, meetings here. Oh, these are like for testing stuff. This is great. Cases, serialization, flow builder, validation. Yeah, there's not not much here in terms of that here. So I think Synapse also. So Synapse is this workflow engine that is extremely early in development here. It's been going for a few years, it seems, but still. So if we look at the code, and this code is like pretty complex. There's so much like indirection going on here, and it looks like I think I saw that it hasn't been like it's been changed. Like this author here is like switching it to a resource-based model. I'm not sure, but anyway, when we look at some of this here, if we go look at the so they use this SDK, but if we go look at transition to statement, let's see how they do it, right? State definition extension. Wow, look at that. What is the license on this? Let me check. License. Apache. We're golden. All right. So let's see what they do here. Get outcome gets the state definition. The state definition get outcome. This is different. So they check the workflow outcome. So this is a transition state name. If that's null, then return transition. Okay. So this sets an outcome. So this is what they're doing. They say, do we transition or do we end? So this is like very similar to what I was saying with returning those values previously, right around here, right here, right? So they got the is end, and then they have the transition, which is exactly where we landed here. But then, so in the end, they say if outcome definition is null, so is end is true. So interesting that they're doing this themselves. So then definition, oh, this is their own state definition. Maybe. Anyway, so they have this, and so transition to state name, and then transition. All right, so they're checking to see if they have the plain string property or the object for transition, which is where we are right now. So current state get next state workflow definition. So we are here, current state get next state. All right, so this is next state. All right, so get next state, and now let's look at this get next state. So they're doing the same type of deal over. Where's this? Yeah, transition to state name. All right, let's do this. God, I wish I can like play other music. I wish there was a thing where I could just pay royalties. I just want to listen to my music. I don't want to listen to this stuff. It's actually distracting. So if state I've been writing too much Go. I forgot the syntax. So if transition to state name, so this is white space or string dot is white space or null or white space. So we're gonna say if that's null or white space, we're gonna then check so if it's not, so let's check that. So we're gonna say workflow definition states, and is this a list, not a key? Interesting. States dot, do we have like a get state? Oh, we have try get state. All right, awesome. Try get state. So if not try get state, and this is going to be state dot transition to state name. So let's do this. String state name or next state name. God, this kind of gets annoying after a few minutes. So next state, and then put that there, and let's centralize this. So if we can't get that dude, and var out, all right. So this is next step name, and it's out var. Oh, use of unassigned. All right. So if it's not that, then we're just going to set this guy equal to state dot transition to state name, and else we're going to do if state dot transition so we're going to do string dot is null empty or white space. So let's inverse this. Go. So I guess, is this supposed to be an end state? Maybe. Let's see how this, let's see how the rendering thing does. So if we leave out this, so if I remove this, what happens here? Is it just supposed to end? Does it just like sit there? I don't know. Let's throw an exception for now. So state.name doesn't have this. Otherwise, we're here and we have our next state name. So I think that's what we're doing here. And then we're going to actually say, so now we're going to try and get state. And oh, I guess you just do this. Why is this hitting me? Oh. Let's see, how do we do this? Oh, the ternary. Yeah, no. Is that going to complain to me? All right. Let's. Well, I guess I do have access to that. Yeah, I like the negatives first because they're usually shorter branches, right? And then, how does that work? Yeah, no. Just like moves them around. All right. I wonder if there's like a better way to do this. Let's leave this for now. Yeah, let's leave that. Oh, thanks, Frick. How are you? Sorry, I just noticed you were there. What's going on? All right, so we got this guy here, and so this is our get next state, and yeah, it's gonna hate me here. I really should fix this editor config stuff for this, but let's just do this for right now. The readability is not really there, but we'll survive for right now. All right, so next state, workflow definition. So then what we're gonna do is we have to then do well, next state equals null. So we're gonna do this. So we have our next state. So let's actually convert this to a do while. We can actually make this a little easier, I think. Do while. I haven't used a do while in a while. All right, so we got a do while going on here. And hey, folks, thanks for joining. Welcome to the party. We are building dynamic serverless workflows. So those of you that are new, like and subscribe. You know, all the general cliche stuff that that they all say in all of these videos here. So, all right. So we're gonna do this. All right. So we're gonna do this. I went to the moderator tab and I got some feedback there. All right. So it's weird. I don't understand how the Twitch stuff works. Like, I don't know who's in the Twitch chat at all. I just don't. I don't understand how it does its thing. But anyway, it says there's like 10 viewers or something, but then it only shows me that there's 1 viewer. So I don't know. But it says that there's 3 in the Streamlabs stuff, in the OBS stuff. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. So next state. So we have current state and next state. And this guy will never be null. Never. Oh, I guess he can be null. Yeah, so process state. So we're kind of like duplicating this whole thing here. So let's actually I would have to do the same thing because we're can't yield a. I don't think you can yield return. Can you do that? No. Too bad. That'd be actually kind of cool. All right, so let's just leave this like this for right now. We could probably simplify this a lot later by basically saying the process state. So we could probably just seed next state here, and we could probably just get rid of this whole piece. So let's so let's get rid of this, and so this is actually just going to be current. So we're seeding current state and next state. So we want to put this at the bottom, and we want to put current state is equal to next state. So actually, I think this is the other way around. Next state. Wait. So we are guaranteed to have a current state. So let's remove that. So we need to do first our current state. So our current state. So our current state is going to be running here, and so we process our current state, and that's going to come over here. And for each one of the statements that comes back, if there are any, we'll have that. And if it's terminal state, then we've already returned, so we're just going to break out of here. All right, and then so at this point we have it's not terminal, so we're going to get our next state. So current state, so this would be start state dot get next state from this workflow definition is next state, and then that guaranteed to not be null here, and then next state. Yeah, so, and then prior state is current state. How do we do this here? So, oh, I guess this is, yeah, so current state, we do this, we get next state, so that's next state, and then prior state. And prior state can't be null, right? Well, I guess it can in the beginning, right? We'll see. We'll debug this guy and we'll see. So prior state. So we need to have inputs now. So we should be passing prior state here. And let's go into here. So this is state definition, prior state. And we're not doing anything yet in here, so we have to do the same deal here. And we're gonna have to just do this for right now, prior state. So an inject state can't have an input, so it doesn't need that, right? And then prior state, but a switch state can. So we're gonna add prior state there. All right. So here we are. We're wiring this sucker together. So possible null reference. All right. So this is okay because we can have a null prior state in the beginning. So prior state. And yeah, so there we go. We can have that null one there. All right, use of unassigned. So this is okay. So let's null, and because we also don't know what our next state is either. Yeah, so unnecessary value because it's always going to have it because of the try get. All right. So we've got this guy. Let's set a breakpoint in here. And we're going to get our next state. We're going to then go from there, current state, next state, prior state, current state, and current state. We never set current state again. So I guess we don't need current state, and this should just be next state, right? this guy's got to be here. Yeah. All right. So that's good. So we have the breakpoint. Now this won't compile yet. So we have our next state, next state, next state. We go to process state. We are here. We know how to do that. We return. We're a switch statement. We're going to build our switch statement, passing in prior state and switch state. So now let's do this. So our prior state, this is last state. I don't remember what that one's for, but. Oh, last state is the one that it just processed. So I don't actually think we need last state, but let's leave it for right now because it's easy. It's in the tuple, so we can remove that there. So, all right. Okie dokie. So we've got prior state. So if we want to determine the input, so determine input, and then we'll refactor this later. So prior state dot. I wish these had comments. Data filter, which may not have a data filter. Output. So if not string is null, is white space. It's null or white space. All right, so we've got, so if it's not there, so we have, right, and so over here we've got, so our data filter. So our output of the prior state is output. So prior state dot data filter dot output. So this is an expression here. Let's go look at this. Let's go look at the spec. Well, not the spec. Let's look what we did here. So we know about inject state. So when inject state was there, where did we put our output? Prepared data. We have. All right. So on the inject state processor. So model inject state, base state, state processor, state processor. So what was state processor? All right, so we had an input object that we maintained as part of this. So let's see how it was. There's like an order here, right? All right, so before we transition to it, so I do this like kind of hooks here. So before we transition, we evaluate the input. So state.input, state processor.input. So if it has an input filter, which just basically checks for null. So if it had All right, so it is input filters. We get the resolved input from here and get resolved input and value expression interface. So we had an input object and yeah, so we got to do prior state. I wish there was like a way to attach data to it, right? So let's just set a breakpoint in here too. And then let's copy paste from over here from our build inject state. And so we have this state.data, right? But there's no like state.input because that's, I guess, an implementation detail. Maybe. So how do we do this? We have this isEnd and so this is the same, right? But we need this switch state data. How did we do this? All right, let's just do this for right now. Yeah, we need to have some sort of an input output type deal. See, I wonder how they did it in Synapse. All right, so set outcome, state definition. So they have callback, inject for each. Yeah, I think they made their own. So what I want to look for is output filter, right? Output filter, data filter. Yeah, so they have this like workflow context, right? So data filter output. So if it's, what is output here? Aha, all right. Yeah, so if it's the filter is not defined, you just return the output, right? Otherwise, they do this like evaluation here. And filter output. Let's look at one of these call sites. So completed event. Oh, so much inheritance. Let's go to this base class activity processor. Yeah, so their process is, so they're doing the workflow execution. So that's like another thing. So that's why they have this context processor here. So what we're trying to do is generate this code to be able to be the processor for what's happening in the workflow. And so they've got this activity, context workflow, initialize async, start or resume, and process async. So let's see, output, input. Where do they have this? So much indirection. I used events. So they filter the output, completed event. Yeah, so they're raising an event with the output. Oh, that's hard. That's rough, man. All right, so they're raising their event. We're not using events because that gets hairy real quick with the events and the delegate. It's all being passed around. It's really hard to reason about because it's so decoupled. Anyway, so we know our input and our outputs here, right? So, da, 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 da. So what does this mean for us, right? So this means that, oh, shit, we have a system for this. We actually have a system for handling inputs and outputs, folks. Ain't that grand? And yeah, that is something special. Good job, Elon. All right. So it looks like we will be generating activities today, folks. So let's comment this out for now, the switch statement. And let's comment this out for now. And yeah, so let's do this. We are going to modify our inject state to actually use a local activity. So let's see what that code actually will look like, right? So oh, all right. So if we were to go to here, so what we really want to do is we want to basically have this switch data dot results. Let's see what this looks like. Split. Yeah, thank you. Open with. Yeah, nope. So we want to open to the side and close. Oops. Thanks. What is a group? All right, so we want to do cool equals true, kid is cool. All right, so we want to do this. Data dot result or data dot cool. So we're doing this. So switch data is cool. Case true. And then we want to transition to state. Kid is cool. So so we've got a system for this whole thing with scoping and everything. So our inputs and outputs are really just variables, right? So we've actually got our input object here, right? So this would be like object input, right? So this would be like our input, but we would really just ignore that, right? So let's get rid of that because it's noisy. So we would say inject state. So our inject state is here. This is our inject state. And so we'll just do data. and then followed by, so the output. So this should really just be output, right? Let's just do object output. It's gonna get real confusing real fast, but good thing computers are doing it. Okay, so output. So we have output. Then, I wonder how this works if I do this. Will this work? Is this smart enough to do this? It like kind of breaks there. Yeah, that's actually funny. So yeah, all right. So let's do this. So if we have one, it can do it. But all right. So it's okay because we're not going to have anonymous objects forever. So output. So our input. So first, so without any filters, our input is equal to our output. Oh, so our input, let's just make these special, right? Our input is equal to our output, and this can be null. We'll do that. Now it decides to recognize, now it decides, yeah, all right. What do I have to fix here? I have to put like, yeah, nullable enabled, and then nullable disabled. Would that work? Yeah. All right. Right now, I'll have to do that, and I'll have to put that there. So then our output is equal to our input always. And so output dot output dot, I'm just going to cheat right now and kind of just put this because I'm just, no, what we really need to do is going to be, since it's object, right, it's going to be really crappy here. You know what? Let's do that for right now so we can have something, right? Cool. And case true. What did it want me to do here? Yeah, all right. And then, so if it's true, we're gonna do this as another inject state. So it's another inject state. So we will, so we're gonna change it. It's gonna be an expression versus, to be an expression versus the statement that we have here with the variable declaration, or assignment rather. So this will be output equals this. Yeah, so break. So output, and then this is going to be like the other one, right? Is cool, and then output equals not cool. So this is like not what we have, but then we're there, and then we just return output. Yeah, so this is kind of where we need to be, I think, right? I think that's where we need to be. think this is where we need to be. And this gives us a switch statement. Now, this is only because we we know it's an inject state. But what this really is going to be is like basically workflow dot activity, right? So we can have execute activity object yeah, so we'll have to fix that, but it will basically be like cool activity, and we'll have so this first parameter is going to be input, right? So it'd be like input well, it'd actually be output, right? And I have like 5 minutes before I gotta go. So how are we gonna do this? So since so if input is that and output is equal to input, so in the beginning it's this. So our output is this. There's no input that gets fed into an inject state. Then we're gonna have so this is input equals output, right? Because this is apply filters, because the data filters will actually be here, right? And we're supposed to also merge, I think. I think that's what's supposed to happen here, but we shall see. But that's actually a function of the activity itself. So there's got to be, fuck man, we're gonna need this typing. Yeah, I need to do this typing stuff. So by this point, output is already as it should be from or to the data filters, etc. And so we're going to just set that there. We're going to have to do a local activity. I think that's what we're going to have to end up doing here. So, man, that's going to kind of suck, but we need to be able to mirror the state transitions to the actual stuff. But can we just do that with spans? Do I need to do it in temporal? I don't think I do. I think it's really just the spans that matter, right, for distributed tracing. Yeah, I think that's what we're doing here. So this will be like begin span, inject state, and this is end span inject state, and then this is switch state, and then end span. So that's what we'll have to do here, and because I don't really want to have activities that for deterministic things, right? This is what workflows were designed to do and do well. This is all replayable. We have history and message in the history length and message length to worry about with all these activities, and I don't. Yeah, I think local activities, the only difference is they're a little lighter because they don't have to go through like the task queue because they run locally, I think. I don't remember, but it's like something like that, or they run local because they share resources. I don't remember. So this would actually just be result. So var result and var result. So the input is there. So then what's the point of this, right? So I guess this is just output at this point. inputs equal to the output. And so then at this point we are output. So we are input here. So input.cool dynamic input. Yeah, we don't. We'll just leave this like this. Input. Closing tag. Oh wow, I guess it treats them the same. It's just a. Right. So input. So input. And input. So we're always passing in inputs and we're always getting outputs. And so this is really, so since in our workflow, our inject state is basically that. So this is what we'll do. And then we'll have begin span inject state, begin span inject state, and span inject state. And span, but this is going to be also costly. But you know, it's the cost of doing business, I think, because it's the cost of doing business, I think, because we need to be able to visualize this for users. So spans are what it is, man. And it's longer lived and cheaper than storing in Temporal because of replay history and blah, blah, blah. And don't use Temporal as databases. Yeah. All right, 2 minutes. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. And if it were something like calling a function like a operation state, which calls like functions and APIs, this would just simply be start an activity, and the output from that activity, the asynchronous activity, would actually be set here, and it's the same thing. All right, so let's update our to-do list now, and then I gotta run and I'll stream later. All right, so we will be let's look at this schema stuff. Spec, specifications, schema. All right, so there's a JSON schema here, data input schema. So this is for validation. So that's actually really good. So this is for validation, but I think we can also use it to create the classes, right? So this is the same thing for validation errors. So this is good. This is exactly what we need. So I wonder, let's try this. I need a function that creates a class using Roslyn, creates a class using Roslyn, creates a C# class using Roslyn from a JSON schema snippet. Sure, yes. Class code. So great. Look how they do like parse class code. We're not going to be parsing text here. No. Yeah, this is not what I was hoping for. I guess I need to feed it a little more info. All right. So let's go back and do this here. So we have to build the, let's call it the type registry. So what does a type registry do? Type registry is responsible for, is a catalog of all input and output objects, output object schemas as JSON schemas. So we have to allow specifying schemas, object schema. We have to allow specifying object schemas, then generate types from the schemas. To stretch goal, allow, actually I guess since we're working in JSON schemas, that gives us like the duck typing, and we would just map them accordingly because we're using like JSON documents internally here for these things in serverless workflow. So I think so. Duck typing kind of deals. Regard to conversion. Yes. So we got that, and then actually update the existing stuff to use the types instead of anonymous objects. All right.